Hi, I'm the Herb Guy, unboxing Goldenseal, part 2. Welcome to the Goldenseal unboxing, part 2. This is what we had. The last one, we opened it up. It showed that it was fairly bland. It was kind of climactic. But we're going to take this plant. It really is the most powerful antibiotic plant in the world. We're going to plant it in this organic soil that we've been working on for the last couple of years. We're going to try to see if we can get this to, we're going to go ahead and plant it, see if we can get it to last throughout the winter, and then transplant it back into the wild in the spring. As it grows, we're going to talk about the different parts of the plant and why we use it, and we'll throw some different science at it, some old myths and whatnot. So we're going to turn it into an actual project. Now this was due to our Patreon subscriber, Lisa. She was our very first Patreon subscriber, and I decided to do a project like this. If I get subscribers, I'll be able to continue to do this. This stuff does kind of cost money, you know. I have special ingredients that I added. This one here is chopped comfrey leaf. You see how finely I did that? I just used scissors, took the leaf, sliced it, and then chopped it up fine. And then used coffee grounds. Now some people tell you not to use used coffee grounds. I disagree, and I'll tell you more. And if you were to take water and run through these coffee grounds, even though they're used, you would still come out like at least a brown tea. So it's going to have plenty of the acidity that we need for what we want for this particular plant. This plant likes acidic soil, so we're going to give it some muted down acidic soil. The reason why I'm using comfrey leaf is kind of interesting. Now you can use comfrey as a fertilizer because the plant itself is loaded with nutrients. And if you take the plant, as you can see, I chopped it up into tiny pieces. If you take the plant and you mix it in with the soil, it's going to break down and become a natural fertilizer, adding nitrogen and all the other nutrients as it decomposes, and all the other nutrients that go with the comfrey itself. So it's going to make this our own blend of organic soil even more nutritious for the Goldenseal plant. Now we're just going to keep it together and have those three as one. We add that in there. Mix it up really nice, because they say, I'll get to that here in just a second, what we got and how we're going to use it. Mix it up so we have the comfrey in there blended in with the coffee grounds. There's not too much coffee grounds. I didn't use much, enough from like a pot. All right, that should be nice. The water that we have is we've collected rainwater. That's why it's a little green. Here's our Goldenseal. Now, we ordered this from a company called Native Wildlife Nursery. They're online, you can find them. They offer all sorts of really interesting plants. They had this Goldenseal at the best value, and so we ordered that and had them send that out. That it's really you can look them up online, find that yourself. You could even buy yourself a Goldenseal plant like this and follow along, and as we go, it'd be something for you to do. Maybe I should have ordered more of those. Huh. Anyway, so we're going to take the roots. Oh, and they didn't come with really any good instructions. So most of the instructions that I have is stuff that I know from the past. And I am not a horticulturalist. I don't plant plants. It says caring for your perennials, planting depth 2 to 4 inches, semi-full shade, moist soil. So this plant I know only likes about 75% sun. You usually find it deep in the woods. So we're going to, for the winter, we're going to put it in the store of our window that faces north. It doesn't really ever get any direct sunlight where it's going to be, but it'll get enough ambient sunlight that it'll get the radiation that it needs to grow. And as it grows throughout the winter, we're going to continue making different parts of the project and discuss the plant at different stages. So should be fun, right? Here we go. Now see, this looks like 3 separate plants, and if you look, it is 3 separate plants. If you look, this one here, oh wow, this is cool. This one here already has a shoot coming out of the end. So maybe I should get and do 3 separate planters. What do you guys think? Well, all right. Hang on. Okay, so as you can see, I went ahead and I decided to use 2 more planters. We have 3 plants. I'm going to try to get all 3 going If they don't, we're not going to blame Native Wildflowers Nursery at all in any way, shape, or form. They said here on the thing that it's 1 Goldenseal. I see 3, so we're gonna go with 3. And if I'm wrong, well, then you'll know that I have said I am not a horticulturalist. I'm an herbalist. There's a huge difference. All right. So in our first plant, it says to plant them 2 inches deep. So we have our big one here. You can see there's no green on it. And there's a little bit. There's a little green right there. So it says to plant them horizontally. Everything that I've read online. This was a reasonably priced item too. I mean, with the shipping and everything, it's about $11. If you need information from them, do not call them. This is their busy time of the year. They will not call you back right away. They have other things to do. So, but they did send my item. They were relatively quick. It took about a week to get here from the time I ordered it, and I'm pretty happy with it. And the reason why I picked Goldenseal, and the reason why I keep calling it, here's the other one. Look at that green. See that? That's pretty cool. The reason why I call it the most powerful antibiotic in the world is because there was once a study done, just recently too, where they took Goldenseal and they planted it, or they didn't plant it, I'm sorry. They took the leaf extract, not the root extract, but they took the leaf extract and they tested it against the 4 most powerful antibiotics in the world. And what they found was that the neighbor was noisy and that the Goldenseal leaf extract outperformed all 4 of the leading antibiotics that are currently on the market. So we're getting those planted. And it did well, but see, they also tried to break the... They also tried to break the Goldenseal down into its different constituents, and they found that the Goldenseal on its own as a whole worked better. Now, they tested Goldenseal root against Goldenseal leaf, and for the most part, most people have used the root, and everybody's relied on the root for all of their medicinal uses, but we've discovered as of late that it's the leaf that actually does the most use, and that works really well because it keeps the plant from dying, so you can actually harvest over and over and over again rather than just harvest the root and then it's done. I said you're supposed to wet the root, so we're going to get it nice and wet, keep it damp, and I'll probably do it about the same way that we do aloe, maybe. I don't know. I'll keep reading. Again, their instructions weren't very clear. What they did say on the box here: keep roots moist and cool in the bag until they can be planted or put in potting soil. Plants should leaf out in mid-spring. Water at least once a week for the first couple of weeks after planting. Then, unless you are in a drought area, Mother Nature will do the rest. So we know that we want to keep it around oak trees, which we have several back yonder, and we're going to probably try to fence it off, keep our chickens out of it. And we have some bloodroot back there, but it's in rough shape right now. I'm not sure if it's going to survive the year. We'll probably have to go back where we got some this year to get more. Now, when they tested it and found that, you would think that would make news everywhere, right? That you have a plant that outperforms all these antibiotics, and you have all these antibiotic-resistant bacteria that they have, MRSA and Staphylococcus and all of that. Why wouldn't they be using Goldenseal? Because it seemed to work in the lab study, but for some reason you don't see that kind of stuff in mainstream. Well, I mean, there's a reason. Nobody makes money if you can grow it. If we can grow it like this and make an extract out of it, just like this, think about that. And over the course of several months, I don't have to use the root, so I don't have to wait 6 years to harvest it. I can use the leaf and harvest it every year. Get enough leaves, and then you have enough to make an extract. You make an extract, and out of the leaf, you have a more effective medicine that'll keep reproducing itself. I don't know who spread the misinformation in regards to the root. I know that it was that way for many, many hundreds of years. Native Americans used it. Goldenseal grows primarily in the northeastern United States, so it's not like it's found just anywhere. And it was typically those tribes that used it for all of their heavy-duty medicinal needs. And because of its rarity, they didn't strip the entire forest of it. Back in the 70s and 80s, Goldenseal was touted as as a miracle herb. and people went on a tear to the point where it became an endangered species, which is unfortunate. I mean, it grows in nature, and if you're careful with it, like if you were just using the leaf, there would be enough for everybody. You could grow it, it'd come back every year. In regards to the science behind it, there's been lots of studies done on it. Now, since it's only found in North America, quote unquote, mainstream science hasn't really done a whole lot in regards to research on it. A lot of the European plants and stuff, they actually have almost 200 years of quote unquote science behind their research on the herbs so they can make their pharmaceuticals. So with the Goldenseal, it kind of makes sense. It's a pretty powerful herb. It'll do a lot of stuff, and it looks like we managed to get 3 plants out of that one purchase. So I think that what we could do is, once it's done, we'll take it back in the woods where we'll be able to observe it in the wild and watch it grow. We'll be able to see the flowers, see the fruit that pops off, and maybe we'll even harvest some of the leaves next year, and we'll be able to make an extract. That means you'll have to follow me for a year. That's a long time. So maybe I'll also buy some leaf elsewhere so we can make enough to make an extract. But we have a lot of projects to do, and the reason why I use the Comfrey is you can take your Comfrey, any excess Comfrey that you have, because of its nutrient, you can take it and put it in a 5-gallon bucket. Just take any old 5-gallon bucket. This is in addition, so any old 5-gallon bucket. Like this is our soil. I could use the soil up. You take your Comfrey and you slice it up with scissors or a knife or whatever, and you put it in the 5-gallon bucket, and you fill that up with water. Now, everything I've heard about it, and it has accidentally been left in a couple of buckets around here. So be advised, if you leave it in a bucket, put a lid on it. It stinks to high heaven. It's awful. It smells like death. But it works really well as a fertilizer for your soil. It'll help actually draw more nutrients up from deeper down into the soil, and it's a good use. You can use it for your house plants if you have a Comfrey plant. They're easy to find online. We don't sell anything like that, but they're easy to find online. There's all sorts of places that sells that kind of stuff. I haven't looked to see, but Native Wildflowers Nursery in Tennessee may have that as well. And I did call them and ask them if they'd like to do a collaboration, because they have a lot of herbs, and it would be kind of cool to get herbs from them occasionally, if we can add herbs. That way we have something to interspace with all of these, and we can do more herbs to put the science out and all that stuff. It should be interesting. I haven't heard back from them yet. I'm about ready to send them an email and see what they say. But again, this is absolutely the worst time of the year for them. This is the month where you can actually do your harvesting. Any month that ends in R is the month you want to do that. So that's where we're at. So this took a lot less time than I thought. I didn't really have a script, and I only bought one of these, so I wasn't able to do it multiple times. What we ended up doing was we ended up getting a box of Goldenseal from a nursery. We've planted 3 of them instead of 1, and in theory we'll have 3 plants by spring, and then what we'll do is we'll film going out in spring, going out underneath the oak tree or in that area where there's lots of acidic soil, and we'll plant our own little section of Goldenseal, and we can watch it grow throughout the year and talk about it as it goes. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Hopefully I didn't do all this for nothing. This is a lot of work to put these videos together. But if you could share it, it would really, really help a lot. If you can donate to my Patreon, that would also help. I also work a full-time job on top of doing this, and my wife and I running our business. So, if I can get enough money from subscribers, I don't have to do the full-time job. I can do this full-time and put out better content. So I really appreciate everybody who watches. Please leave comments for things I can do to improve the videos. And you got to remember, I'm not a video guy for a living, so you got to be kind of patient with me. And I don't have the equipment. If you got any volunteers you want to help, well, by all means, you step forward, and I'll be more than happy to use your help. But other than that, just be patient with me, and I'll get to it as I go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.